As the sun rises over the ancient world, the modern global economy faces unprecedented challenges.
The pyramids stand as a testament to centralized power, often built during times of economic surplus, yet
They then all die. History teaches us that every golden age contains the seeds of its own dissolution. The current
Every civilization, from the pharaohs to the digital age, has faced the precipice of financial restructuring.
The global economy is reaching its apex. But beneath the surface, the warning signs of a massive financial bubble are clear.
As we meticulously uncover the past, we see the patterns of financial hubris repeating throughout history, leading inevitably to crisis.
As the sun rises on a new geopolitical era, the shadow of past financial crises looms large over central banks.
Establishing a true baseline is critical. Without it, any perceived stability is merely an illusion.
As global supply chains strain, the inevitable crisis unfolds. We are now seeing the long-term consequences.
For centuries, these quarries have fueled the growth of empires. Today, they sit at the heart of a rapidly shifting global commodities market.
every major technological shift throughout history, from primitive tools to digital finance, has triggered subsequent bubbles and crises.
The Nile was the original supply chain. But even here, the immense capital required for infrastructure projects often precipitates.
These megastructures were not merely tombs, but symbols of immense wealth centralization, often masking the underlying.
The movement of goods has always been the bedrock of civilization, reflecting the interconnectedness of global supply chains, even in their earliest forms. The balance of power is measured with extreme precision. But as history shows, even the strongest cords can snap under unprecedented strain.
Freeze. As central banks grapple with inflation, the geopolitical landscape shifts. We are witnessing a critical.
The stability of these structures mirrored the perceived strength of the dynasty. But even the grandest economies are.
The enduring mystery of the pyramids reminds us that even the most powerful civilizations are susceptible to the tides of history and economic instability. From the grand scale of these ancient structures to the intricate web of modern finance, the patterns of boom and bust remain eerily consistent.
For centuries, it has watched over the sands of Giza. Yet, even it cannot foresee the impact of the coming market correction.
The global economy is at a turning point. As history demonstrates, the true risk of financial bubbles and
The deep lines etched into this ancient stone reflect the cyclical nature of history, where financial bubbles inevitably burst.
As the tectonic plates of geopolitical power shift, the stability of key regions like the Nile corridor.
The collapse wasn't sudden. Decades of unstable financial policies led inevitably to the bubble bursting.
The great temples of Luxor stood as symbols of enduring power, yet even the mightiest empires faced the inevitable turning points of history. The silent stones of this temple have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, a stark reminder that today's
As we trace the history of these civilizations, we uncover the roots of modern financial crises.
These temples were built to last forever, yet they too succumbed to shifts in power and resource depletion. As we gaze upon these monuments, we must remember that even the most dominant global trends are subject to the turning points of history.
Standing before the remnants of an empire, we are reminded that even the greatest powers are susceptible to.
History teaches us that economic power is intrinsically linked to geopolitical influence.
These towering columns, built through immense centralized wealth, remind us that even the greatest powers are. History teaches us that every bubble eventually bursts. The only question is the timing and the subsequent global impact. History has shown that every financial bubble, no matter how robust, eventually succumbs to the weight of its own speculation.
While these columns have stood for millennia, the economic pillars supporting modern markets are far more.
As we trace these ancient lines, we uncover not just history, but a recurring geopolitical pattern that often
Within these walls, the lessons of history are etched in stone. The rise and fall of empires often mirrors the volatility of the global economy. The stability of empires often rests not on military might, but on the perceived solidity of their financial institutions.
Its heights. As we apply the finishing strokes of this ancient pigment, we must consider the historical precedents of
encroachments. Much like a financial bubble, the rapid expansion often masks underlying structural weaknesses.
We are witnessing a pivotal moment in history. The interplay between financial bubbles and geopolitical power shifts dictates the future global trends.
The desert awakens, mirroring the shifting sands of geopolitical power. We are entering an era.
As we navigate these arid territories, the parallels to the global financial landscape.
Entries. The rise and fall of empires, much like the subtle shift in today's global economy, are often defined by how they.
As we face new geopolitical power shifts, the lessons of past financial bubbles echo through history, reminding us that even the colossal can fall.
As the sun penetrates the deepest sanctuary of Abu Simbel, we are reminded that
The distance between these 2 points illustrates the profound impact of rising global sea levels.
The lessons of history are clear. From the earliest empires to our interconnected world, the cycle of boom and history teaches us that every financial bubble eventually bursts. The consequences reverberate through global.
These reliefs depict the enduring power of empires, yet history shows even the greatest powers are vulnerable
to another. To understand the crisis, we must look not at what is built, but what is taken away. This principle holds true.
When we examine the historical record, the patterns become clear. Every major financial crisis is preceded.
These blocks represent not just engineering challenges, but the immense capital required to stabilize a fragile economy during a geopolitical turning point.
As the bubble expanded, the central bank faced an impossible choice: intervene and risk stagnation.
The reassembly of the global supply chain, once thought impossible, is now proceeding block by block.
The relocation of Abu Simbel was more than an engineering marvel. It represented a turning point in how global financial
structures. The bustling markets of Cairo have long been the heartbeat of the Middle East, reflecting every shift in the global economy.
We stand at a critical juncture for the global economy. The current inflation crisis shares unsettling parallels with the late 1970s. The coming decades will be defined by unprecedented geopolitical power shifts. As we stand at this turning point,
As the waters of the Nile sustain this ancient capital, the flow of global capital dictates its future.
As the world grapples with unprecedented financial bubbles, the lessons from history become critically important for understanding the path ahead.
Geopolitical shifts are reshaping the economic landscape, while the headlines focus on immediate crises. While these stones have stood for centuries, the modern global economy is far more volatile. We are seeing the 14th century marked a critical turning point. A financial bubble fueled by transcontinental trade was burst. As the global economy navigates unprecedented terrain, the lessons of history remind us that every bubble eventually.
As the markets braced for impact, the underlying fragility of the system became starkly evident. This wasn't merely a...
From this vantage point above Cairo, the layered history is clear. But as global markets face unprecedented volatility,
beneath the splendor of the Khedive's vision lay a complex web of international debt, illustrating a recurring pattern in emerging markets. The recent financial bubbles and subsequent crises have demonstrated the interconnectedness of the global economy. This towering facade represents the peak of Mamluk power, built amidst a period of intense geopolitical and from the Pyramids of Giza to the gleaming towers of global finance. The cycles of crisis and recovery dictate the rise and fall of empires.
The recurring pattern of financial bubbles and subsequent crises is not merely economic. It fundamentally
built during a period of immense geopolitical upheaval. These walls witnessed the subtle shifts in trade that The rapid modernization of the Giza Plateau masks a deeper vulnerability. As global trends shift, even seemingly
In an era defined by geopolitical power shifts and looming financial bubbles,
Egypt's investment in culture.
As central banks navigate this unprecedented landscape, the shadow of inflation looms large over the
As we analyze these global trends, the data suggests a significant shift in economic power.
Egypt's enduring legacy is visible in these iconic structures. The pyramids symbolize stability amidst shifting sands.
Buried for centuries, this artifact tells a story of economic collapse. It is a stark reminder that even the most dominant
The stability of the global supply chain hinges on the unseen movement of countless goods, a delicate balance susceptible to geopolitical shifts.
This era, much like our own, faced unprecedented financial volatility. The lessons learned here.
As central banks navigate unprecedented geopolitical shifts, the shadow of past financial bubbles looms large over the current cycle. These ancient stones have witnessed countless turning points in history. Now, as new financial bubbles emerge,
the history of civilization is often defined by these moments of transition. As we move past the urban centers,
every empire, from the pharaohs to the modern age, must confront the subtle drama of risk and the shifting sands of geopolitical power.